The rain knocked like a harbinger. I was never afraid of storms. In fact, I liked the low rumble of thunder, flashes of lightning, the rain drumming on the roof. Nights like that made the house feel even cozier. Warm lamplight, a mug of coffee, an old book, and solitude. Quiet, familiar solitude. But that night was different. That night, the rain felt sinister. I lived alone in a small house on the outskirts of town. Quiet place, neighbours far away, the street barely lit. On rainy nights like this, even the streetlights seemed to dim, like someone had turned down the brightness. Outside, the rain poured like the world itself was soaking to the bone. I sat in my chair with a book when something tapped against the window. I flinched, not from the sound, but from a feeling. Something was off. I stood, walked to the window. Darkness, just rain. I thought I saw movement by the gate, but maybe it was my imagination. A cat, the wind, or... I returned to my chair, but I couldn't read anymore. Every drop on the window sounded like a footstep. Thunder, like a punch to the chest. A knock, this time, not on the window, on the door. I froze. Another knock. Then again. Someone was standing at my door in the pouring rain. "Who's there?" I called out, but no answer came. I grabbed a flashlight, approached the door, peered through the peephole. Nothing. I cracked the door open, just barely, with the chain still on. No one, just the rain. I was about to shut it when I saw it. A box on the doormat. Small, soaked through, no writing. I brought it inside, opened it carefully. Inside, a photo. Of me. Taken from outside the window. I recognized the angle. It was from behind the house. Someone had been under my windows. Recently. Maybe right now. I rushed to the back door, clicked the lock, checked the windows. All locked, I think. I hope. Knock. Not the door. The kitchen window. I crept toward it on tiptoe, in the dark, trying not to make a sound. Slipped on the rug, fell hard. Light. I switched on the lamp. Fast, stupidly. Realized I just made myself a target. And then I heard it. The back door creaked. It was opening. He was inside the house. I didn't see a face. Just a silhouette. Tall, thin, moving strangely. I threw the lamp at him. The crash bought me a second. I ran. Upstairs. My phone was in the bedroom, charging. Cursing myself, I reached the room, slammed the door, pushed the bed against it. My hands shook as I dialed 911. "Please come, he's in the house," I almost shouted. "We've already received your call," the calm voice replied. "A unit is en route. Try to hide and stay quiet." I hung up and froze. Downstairs, silence, just rain and the occasional creak. He wasn't in a hurry. He knew I was upstairs. He was waiting. Then I heard the stairs. Slowly. One step at a time. Everything inside me screamed to shout, to jump out the window, to run. But I sat and waited. I knew. If he reached the door, I would have to fight or die. Silence. He didn't reach the door. I listened. No footsteps, no breathing, just the rain. 10 minutes passed, maybe more, before I dared move the bed. Open the door. Nothing. No one. I crept downstairs, slowly, gripping a knife I had pulled from the nightstand drawer. And then I heard it. The front door opening. I ran to the hallway. It really was open. Through the rain, I saw flashing lights. Police. I rushed outside, yelling, waving. They grabbed me, not aggressively, protectively. They searched the house and found nothing. But on the kitchen table lay a second photo, this time of me sleeping in the chair. Taken tonight. According to the cameras they installed later, the man knew the house's layout. He had been inside before I realized it, and he left without a trace, except for the fear. After that, I sold the house, moved to the city, where the noise of traffic drowns out the sound of creaking doors. But sometimes, on rainy nights, I still feel like someone's standing outside my window. The network without a name. I'm not the kind of person who believes in the supernatural. I work as a system administrator. I know how technology works, what bugs are, and what's just user error. But once, I encountered something I still can't explain. I had just moved into a new apartment, a typical one-room unit in an old building where everything creaks. Neighbours don't say hello, and at night the stairwell smells like wet plaster. I turned on the router, set up the network, gave it a simple name. Home. Everything worked perfectly. On the second day, I noticed a new Wi-Fi name appeared in the list. Look out the window. At first, I thought a neighbour was playing a prank. The network was password protected. Normal stuff. But on the third day, the network showed up again, with a different name. I'm close. Again, password protected. I even joked aloud, creative. But inside, something started to chill. On the fourth day, I woke up to a notification sound on my phone. It was 3:17 a.m. A new Wi-Fi network appeared. Are you awake? My breath caught. I turned off Wi-Fi and lay back down, but sleep didn't come. I stared at the ceiling, listening to the ticking of the old clock. The fifth day. During the day, I noticed only my network was listed. It seemed to have stopped. But in the evening, while checking my email, I noticed the internet was noticeably slower. I checked the router settings. Someone was connected. I checked the MAC addresses, a device labeled unknown. I reset the password and rebooted the router. An hour later, the network appeared again, this time named useless. My heart started pounding. This was no longer just a neighbour with a sense of humour. I turned the router off completely. At night, I woke up again at 3:17 a.m. My phone was flashing. It turned on by itself. I'm sure I had left it off. In the list of networks, a new one. Name. Get up. My hands were shaking as I grabbed the phone. I got out of bed and walked to the window. Nothing. But in the reflection of the glass, behind me, someone was standing. I spun around sharply. Nothing. I even wanted to laugh. This couldn't be real. I'm an IT guy. I know how this stuff works. The next night, I stayed at a colleague's place. He offered when he saw how I looked. I didn't tell him everything, just said I had problems with the network and a neighbour. In the morning, I came back. The apartment smelled musty. Everything was in place, except one thing. My router was on, even though I was sure I had turned it off, and it was broadcasting a network. Name, let me in. I pulled the plug, took the device apart, and threw it in the trash. Since then, I've been using only mobile tethering. I don't bring any routers into the apartment. Every time I see a strange Wi-Fi name, my hands tremble. Sometimes, late at night, a network without a name appears on my phone. No signal, no password. Just exists. For a second. Then disappears. I don't look out the window anymore, and I don't recommend you do either. The one who whispers in the dark. The city park Birchgrove always seemed like a place of peace. Wide paths, streetlights, ducks in the pond, old people on benches. Even at night, when the chill began to fall from the trees, it felt safe, or so it seemed. Anya often walked there after work. Music in her headphones, a light breeze, leaves crunching underfoot. It all helped her unwind. She knew every turn, every bench, every streetlight that started flickering closer to midnight. But that evening felt different. The music suddenly stopped. Her phone displayed connection error. Anya paused and looked around. Empty. Just the distant glow of streetlights and her own shadow stretched across the wet pavement. She took off her headphones and listened. The woods were silent, but in that silence, something unnatural. And then, footsteps, uneven, halting, as if someone were dragging a leg. Anya turned sharply, but no one was there. just a tree with a crooked, arm-like branch. She quickened her pace, then almost ran, avoiding the darkness between the trunks. The streetlights began to flicker. She turned onto a side path that led to the exit. The footsteps faded. Maybe. But now she heard something else. A whisper. At first faint, barely audible, then clearer. Someone was saying her name. Anya. Her heart pounded in her ears. Maybe a prank, she thought, or some passerby. Don't turn around. The whisper came again, right behind her. She froze. A chill crawled up her spine. They say, if you feel someone behind you, don't turn around. But it felt like he was already there, almost touching. She spun around and saw nothing. Just an empty path, flickering light, a torn bench, no one. And then, footsteps again from the opposite side. She ran. The park became a maze. Leaves whipped her face, sneakers slipped on wet tiles. And again, the voice. You're alone. This is your forest now. Memories flashed before her eyes. News stories about mysterious disappearances in the park. People went out for a jog and never came back. Cameras showed them going in, but never out. No bodies, no clues. Just fear. Settled deep in the town. Anya reached the pond. The water reflected the moon, and a silhouette. A man. Tall, thin, head bowed. He stood on the opposite shore, staring, motionless. Anya froze, unable to scream. He stepped into the water, not on the bridge, but straight across the surface, as if the ground held him. With each step, his face became clearer, distorted, smeared, eyeless, just dark hollows. She bolted deeper into the park. Footsteps behind her, now 2, 3. He wasn't alone. To her left, a hooded figure. To the right, another. Anya burst onto the main alley, usually full of people. Now, not a soul. Just one light still glowed by the old rotunda. Under it, a bench. And a man, hunched over, examining something. Anya ran to him. A security guard. She screamed, "Help! Someone's chasing me. He slowly raised his head. His face was covered in blood. Hollow eye sockets. The same mask. The same absence of eyes. You're one of us now, he croaked. The light went out. In the morning, a passerby found a phone on the bench. On the screen, a photo of a girl standing on a path, taken from the bushes. In the background, a dark figure almost blending with the trees. Park cameras, offline. 25-year-old Anastasia Ivanova, missing. No witnesses, no trace. But the old folks by the pond whisper that at night, you can still hear footsteps. And those who dare walk the park past midnight sometimes hear a voice. Don't turn around.